Okay, I think the next thing we should do is we've got all our columns supported other than these two interior ones. We need to put in a couple of concrete piers, which are really just concrete columns. So let's go back to our grade beam level. Let's zoom into these guys. And now I need to add another column, a concrete column. So I'm going to click on here and go into here. And what do I have? I don't have a square concrete column. So let's say load family. And I'm going to click in here and scroll down to structural columns, concrete, concrete square, hit open. And it defaults to a 300 by 300. It doesn't ask me to pick any sizes, but I could pick in here and see that there actually is some other sizes. I think the 300 by 300 is good. Now, this is where I do want to go depth. I don't want to go down to um, level 2. Let's just go down to top of pile. Yes, right? And then I'm going to pick on here. That's it. Zoom in. It snaps right to the grid. Pick on there. Escape, escape. Go to a 3D view. Shift middle mouse button. Shift middle mouse button. You can see there's those columns. Okay. Let's have a little look at our section. Double click on here to open up that view. And let's just grab that section and let's put it right on the grid line. Boom. And then double pick on it. Click, click. We can see here. It's putting my column right in, right through the slab. Perfect. Sitting up, same elevation. All right. Now let's go to the top of pile level. Okay, now we're going to add in some piles. We need some round columns. So let's go to our column tool and square. No, we want a concrete round. So we're going to pick just here. Load family. Click in. Scroll with the middle mouse button. Structural columns. Double click. Concrete. Double click. Concrete round column. Hit open. And the default is 300. Let's click on here and pick a 450. Now I'm going to go again at grid lines. Click. And then I'm going to click, hold my mouse button in, drag over, boom. It's going to grab all the grid lines and find the intersections. Hit finish. Oh boy. Now I was just thinking I didn't even check my height or depth or anything. I got really careless. But let's have a look. It defaulted to depth. There's no level below that. So it went to what is called unconnected, which just means put in a number. So it went to 2500, which actually isn't that bad. We're going to change that. But notice it gave me again a warning that I can't see it because I don't think I fixed my view range in here. So it doesn't matter. I can just hit modify or hit escape. Escape, escape. Click in and go to my 3D view, and they should be there. Okay, now it depends on if you want to model them the actual real depth. Watch, I'm going to shift middle mouse to pan myself over to here. Shift middle mouse. I'm going to do a crossing box by picking and holding, grab all those columns. Then I can say, okay, top of pile 2, minus 5 meters, or I can go the real distance, 10 meters, 15, 20 meters, whatever it happens to be. Okay, add those columns in. And now we're ready to put in our beam systems, which goes fairly quickly. So let's go to our level 2, right? Okay, we're going to go to level 2. We're going to put in some beams in here, and then we'll go to the high level up there. So level 2, and we'll leave it in coarse detail. And we're going to create what is called a beam system. So we say beam system and structural beam system, and let's see what it's made up of. Well, it's going to use a wide flange as the member. Well, we want to use a joist, so I'm going to pick on here and then click and see what there is. There's nothing in here that I can use. So what do? Can I load the family right here? Beam type, not giving it to me. So what I need to do is preload a joist. So I'm going to hit escape, escape on the keyboard. Or in fact, escape isn't working, so I have to hit the modify button over here. Always good to clear your command. Kind of got stuck there. So now we need to insert a joist. We're going to go to the insert tab, and then we're going to say load family. We're just going to do a straight load, and we're going to click in here again, scroll, structural framing, double click, steel, double click, and we want a joist, K-series bar joist, looks good to me. Open, it's going to ask us for some sizes, so we're going to go down here and say, okay, well, we want a, let's go with a 450 deep. Maybe a 508. Okay, hit OK. Now we've loaded the joist, and you can see it if you scroll down here, of course, in our browser. Under families, structural beams, systems, columns, that's all of our structural stuff inside of there. You can have a look at that anytime. Structural beam system, this is the one that's in there. So let's start our tool again. Back to structure on the top, beam system. Structural beam system, if we hit edit in here, we can duplicate this and call this, structural, let's just call it OWSJ. And I put spaces in the middle just to make it look cool. Okay. And then hit OK. And in there, I'm going to pick on here, and I'm going to grab that loaded bar joist that I just brought in. See, it's on the list now. And now as I hover around here, okay, it's going to start to, depending on which way I go on. Now I want to check my spacing, so I'm going to say, okay, justification is centered. Fixed distance, no, I don't want to go fixed distance. I want to go maximum spacing of, let's go 1600. And then if I hover over here, you can see if you go near the edge, so watch, I'm on, it's important you were on level 2 when you started, so I'm going to go pick, puts in those joists. Because I'm in coarse detail, it's just putting them in symbolically. Again, I'm just hovering over that joist, or that tie joist, I guess, tie beam. And then you just kind of be patient with it. You'll see the green dashed lines. So we put those guys in, and again, you can change this on the fly. You can change to different systems. You don't have to do all the same. You can just pick a different member or beam type here. And that looks pretty good. Let's go to our 3D view. Okay, we've got, oops, escape. I don't know what happened there. I hit exit. Click in, shift middle mouse. Okay, not too bad. Let's go up to our level 3. Click up here to the top. Level 3. Same thing, we'll go beam system. I'm going to use the same OWSJs or K joist. And notice I switch levels. That's how it knows where to go. And of course you can offset that vertically, elevation. You can say level 3 minus, the thickness of the slab or the steel deck or something. Escape on the keyboard, or hit the modify tool. Go to the 3D view. When you're in a 3D view, or even in a plan view, you can switch also here to say shaded or hidden or realistic colors. If you want to play around. Not really good for modeling, because it'll go a bit slower depending on your video card or what you have in, but this isn't doing too bad. Shift middle mouse. So you can go realistic, you can say shaded mode. This works really good. Notice it changes as you shift. That's an option. And then wireframe, of course, gets really busy, old AutoCAD style. And then hidden line is just your black and white. You can also type in like HL for hidden line, WF for wireframe, SD for shaded D. I don't know if CC, no, CC is copy. So you can have several short commands. So I know SD on the keyboard is shaded mode. So you might want to kind of do that. Okay, if you want to add in a cool 3D view, go back to say a level here. Well, let's go to level 2. Double click. Go to your 3D doghouse here and say camera. Pick that, and then just kind of pick on here and go like this. Bada bing, bada boom. Puts in a 3D view. You can pick on here. Change this to say shaded. pick on here. And then you can select something and then go shift middle mouse and you can kind of swivel around, zoom in, stuff like that. We can do all kinds of neat stuff and move your camera around and things like that. So lots of neat stuff in Revit. So I just wanted to kind of get this little kickoff project started just to kind of warm you up. You might want to go through this a couple times and even try to repeat it. That view we're in is under here, under 3D views. You can see it's there. To get back to normal, you can just pick on here, or remember, don't pick on your ceiling plans. Notice that for every floor plan we made, it made a ceiling plan. Be careful, don't go into ceiling plans, make sure you're in floor plans. That's a big kind of beginner mistake. So again, elevations are over here. Your sections are being saved down inside of here. We have section 1 and section 2. And if you go to a section, you can even do a little call out by zooming in, going to your view tab, and then you create a call out of that. Okay, and then you can pick on here and move that over. Okay. And then if we want, we can make a new sheet and pop some views on it. So let's just finish it off with that. I'll go down to my sheets here and right click. Again, you can scroll on here and say new sheet and use an A1 metric. Sounds good. And then I can say, okay, let's bring in our grade beam floor plan. Pop right in there. And then after I click out, and then I'm going to pick on here and use a shift arrow key. Okay. Those out. Oh, and just use your arrow keys to nudge it, and a shift arrow key is a big nudge. So let's even move that up. Arrow key, arrow key. Pick out. Okay. Pick the big box. Drag that guy over. Pick out. Grab it. Hold it. Drag it. There we go. And I'm not going to put everything on there. Let's put a south elevation. Let's have a look at our crop region there. Looks good. Turn it off. Back to our sheet view. Open up the sheets. There's our sheet. And grab a south elevation. Drag it on. Place it down here. Notice it'll line itself up. Click out. Same thing. Pick in the middle. Pick the dot. Drag it. Pick out. Grab it. Hold it. Drag it in. Click out. I just want to turn off those elevation bubbles back in there. So let's go back to our double click on our grade beam. I'm going to turn on the crop region by picking that button, and I'm just going to pull this in inside those bubbles so they don't show up, our elevation bubbles. Click out and then turn it off. Zoom in a little bit, go back to my sheet, and it'll show that has been set up. And we can even go grab that call out, bring it in, drag it in, place it over here. There's our call out. If we open up the call out by double clicking in it, we do want to turn the detail up to be fine detail. We're going to see a little bit more there. Like that. Now we don't see a joist in there. Let's go back to our section 2. And we're not seeing any joists. So we will move our section line. So let's go back to our level 2, because of our section is right in the middle. Click on it and nudge it. Nudge, nudge, nudge. In fact, we'll nudge it right back to that first joist using your arrow key. Click out. Now when we open this, we're going to see a joist. And when we open up our call out, which now has a number, we're going to see this, which is all being placed right here on our sheet. Double click. You want to rename your sheet, you just right click on here and hit the rename button on the bottom and call it, plans and details. Details. Good, and hit OK, and of course it's going to put that information down in here. Project name, pick on here. Okay. RST Proj 01. Owner. CAD clips, click out. Okay. Put your name or whatever checked by and author inside of here. Drawn by. So there's a little kickoff lesson in 5 lessons or less on how to put together a little mini structural project with a little bit of floor plans and some elevation sections, details, and a sheet. So we'll be back with much more with a Revit structure, kind of specializing in different areas and doing some little projects along the way. So we're far from done.